Welcome to the Time to Fly podcast. It's time to give your business wings and take flight to achieve more impact, influence, and income with unique perspectives, tools, and tips from successful entrepreneurs and business professionals to help your business fly. Here to educate, encourage, and entertain you with their own unique perspectives and experience, plus sharing anecdotes of growing up as cowgirls. Here's your host, Nikole Haumont.
Welcome to this episode of Time to Fly. Give your business wings. I'm your host, Nikole Haumont. Today, I want to visit with you about having your own domain name that connects to your website. Now, I have been designing websites since 1999, and I also worked for GoDaddy for a year and a half. I will tell you, you must own your own domain name and you must have control of it in order to make sure that you are protecting yourself. So while at GoDaddy, I have numerous stories I can share with you about phone calls coming in of people literally crying about where their website went, where their domain name went. I am here today to help you navigate some of that and learn about those people's trials and tribulations to help you avoid that. Having your own domain name, some people call it a URL, some people call it your website. It is the name that appears up in the browser bar that you type in with the www dot in front of it. You want to make sure that you actually purchased it under your own credit card, that you have it in your own account, and that you are the one who goes through and makes any DNS changes to it. I know all of that probably doesn't make sense, so I want to break it down a little bit for you. The reason you want to pay for it with your own credit card, the big domain registrar companies like GoDaddy, if you can prove that you paid for it with your credit card and it's in somebody else's account, you can get your domain name back in case something goes wrong. Now, the reverse is true too. If you have your website designer pay for it in their account under their credit card, you will never have a chance to get that domain name back if you guys part ways, unless they willingly transfer it over to you. So a domain name is a very important part of your strategy when it comes to online marketing. Preferably get a .com if at all possible, but if you can't, a .net is the next best choice. And there are a ton of TLDs, which is top level domain, which basically means any of the things that come after the last dot in your domain name. So if you want .tv or .shop, you can get those type of items. So owning your own domain name gives you a ton of branding opportunities. Every time you give your email address out, you can give it out as Nikole@shieldbar.com instead of Nikole@yahoo.com. But think about this. You have your business card. That is your smallest form of physical advertising that you're going to do. So you're going to want a shorter domain name if at all possible. Think about that business card and your email address on there. Make sure that it is your first name or possibly something generic like office at your domain name, because then every time you do hand that card out, you're branding not only your website, but also your email again. Having a branded email also makes you look more professional. It's something that the big companies do, and it gives you an air of being a larger company than you actually might be. So one story from GoDaddy that I want to share with you was a lady that I visited with about 6 months into working there. She literally was crying when I got patched into her phone call. After getting her calmed down, I asked her questions. What is your domain name? Where is it hosted at? Who is this and who is that? Who paid for it? She had no idea. There are lots of different tools that are free that you can use to research all of this kind of stuff. And I was busily trying to figure out what domain name she was even talking about because she wasn't even sure 100% if it was a .com or a .net. And so going through the different tools, looking at who actually owned the .coms and .nets, we did determine that it was a GoDaddy domain, but that it was in a website developer's account. With that being said, she had no way of getting control of that domain. This website designer had convinced the lady to pay $5,000 down for him to begin developing her site. He had also convinced her to transfer the domain from her GoDaddy account to his GoDaddy account, which gave him full and total control over the domain name. Now, this is a domain she had had for a long time, and she was in the process of getting her site rebuilt so she could have a more professional look. But by transferring her domain name over to him, he has complete control of that website now. and anything that he puts on it. Unfortunately for this lady, she didn't get her domain name back because she had transferred it to him. She had not paid for it with her own credit card when it came to the transfer process, and she had no legal recourse because she didn't even know for sure where he lived. So you need to make sure that you are doing business with a reputable company, and also make sure that you maintain ownership of that domain name. Do not transfer your name to somebody else, no matter how much easier it would make your life. You can call your domain registrar, companies like GoDaddy, and they'll walk you through updating your connection strings and DNS that your designer can provide to you in order to connect the domain name to the hosting account. Yes, you do need a domain name and you do need a hosting account in order to have a website. Think of a hosting account as an online file cabinet where all of your files are stored. That gets connected to your domain name through the DNS and makes it visible on the World Wide Web. So you have to have hosting. That is one thing. I know I have a lot of people who say, do we have to have that? Yes, you do. So in order to have a website, you need your domain name and you need hosting. And there's other things that you need to do in order to make sure you have a reputable website, including search engine optimization and having a secure socket layer on there, such as an SSL. The other reason you want to have your own domain name is so you can have a branded email. A branded email gives you credibility. It makes you look professional. Having a branded email is a form of advertising for yourself too. Think about your business card. It should have your email on it. I would highly suggest having a couple different emails set up. This is an additional cost. You can have multiple email addresses, such as a generic one for office @ or you can have Nikole @ or different things like that to make sure that you can route people to the proper email box when you want to communicate with them. One of the main reasons you want to have a branded email with your name at your domain is when you do email newsletter marketing, the amount of opens increase significantly when they're coming from a person rather than a generic email. With your email, you can have it set up to sync seamlessly with your Gmail, whether you use a G Suite account, or you could also use hosted Exchange email. There's a variety of ways to do it, and depending on how many bells and whistles you actually need are going to be different price points for you. Now that you have your domain and your email, and you're ready to have a presence on the web, you decide you're going to hire a website designer. There are two ways to do this. One, if you currently have a website up, if you have a designer who uses WordPress like we do here at Shield Bar Marketing, they can actually build your site on a temporary domain. So that way you can review all of the files before it goes live and your existing site stays up so you still have a forward-facing website for your clients to visit. If you do not have a website up, you can immediately connect it to your domain name. One of the benefits of this is that it takes Google and Bing 6 to 8 weeks to index your site. So as long as you are working on the site on a daily basis, getting the correct information out there, you're going to be ahead of the curve by having Google and Bing index your site while you're building it. Just be aware, if you take more than 3 weeks to build that initial site, some of the pages that get indexed, which means those are the ones that are showing up in the search results, may show that temporary wording that you had on your website that was there for filler space. With search engine optimization, which is all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on in a website, you do need to at least update that on a monthly basis. Think of Bing and Google as stray dogs that you want to make your own pet. If you want to make a stray dog a pet, you leave a little bit of food and water out for it. They get used to coming back around and checking to see if there's more food and water. If you do it consistently, you're going to make that dog a pet. If you don't do it consistently, they're going to move on and try to find the next place. This is how the search engines work. If you are putting out new content, I suggest at least a monthly basis, weekly would be better, onto your website, then Google and Bing and the other search engines across the world are going to come back and crawl your site with little bots. These are things you cannot see. It's nothing you need to spray for. They're good. You want these bots to come to your site. Once you have your website up and running, there's one more thing that you really need to do. You need an SSL because you want to provide peace of mind to your clients and also to make the browser Google Chrome happy. Last summer of 2018, Google Chrome added a layer of security to their site. So if your sites do not have an SSL, which stands for Secure Socket Layer, and it's what encrypts the credit card information normally, if that is not included on your website, Google will actually ding you on the search engine result. meaning that you will be driven farther down the page, maybe even to page 2 or page 3. An SSL provides credit card encryption, but it also provides encryption if you are collecting email addresses to put onto your email newsletter. That's why you need it. You also need to have the SSL to help if you are going to be collecting cookies or putting a Facebook pixel on any of your pages in order to do advertising back to people who have visited your website. So an SSL doesn't have to be horribly expensive. We only charge our clients $50 a year. I know there are other places that charge more than that. There's others that charge less than that. With that, you want to make sure that you have the SSL and that it gets installed onto your website. So make sure whomever is hosting your website knows how to do that, because it has to be done on the hosting side of the account, not on the domain name itself. SSLs provide you peace of mind, they provide your client peace of mind, and they make Google happy. So it's a win-win-win situation. If you are building a global brand and you're running into GDPR, especially in the European nations, GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulations. You need to have an SSL, and you need to have double opt-in options on your email marketing, which means that people get a second email saying, yes, I want to receive the information from you. Having the SSL encrypts that email address as it's transferred from your website to your email provider, such as MailChimp. And then they get that second email immediately, making sure that they confirm that they want to be on there. If you don't do that, you are literally looking at 7-figure fines from the European nations if you violate GDPR. When it comes to your hard-earned money, you want to make sure that you spend your marketing dollars wisely. Make sure you choose a reputable marketing firm that has experience building websites and hosting them. What I recommend you do is that you plan on paying a certain percent down. Here at Shield Bar Marketing, we request 50% down to begin work. However, we do not request the other 50% down until the website is completely functional and up and running. Plan on paying a monthly maintenance fee because you need to have your website maintained. At Shield Bar Marketing, we design in WordPress. And with WordPress, over 70% of the sites in the world are actually built using that platform. It's a very robust platform that has free and premium versions available. We use a combination of both free and premium, depending on what the site needs. You will want to make sure that your website hosting company does charge a monthly fee, especially if they're designing in WordPress. And the reason for that is then, as long as you have it in writing and it's part of their services, they provide the maintenance on the website. With WordPress, you need to keep your core files and your plugins updated on at least a weekly basis. A lot of people don't have the time or the skill set or the knowledge of doing that, and that is one thing that we do provide with our website care plans. The main reason you need to have your WordPress site maintained on a consistent basis is you do not want to be hacked. I had countless phone calls at GoDaddy of people saying, oh my gosh, there's a big red box on my website, or my website is down, or even worse, it's redirecting to a pornography site. Those calls came in on a daily basis. We would help those customers who called in go through their hosting account and learn how to revert back to their last backup. But a lot of times, they didn't have those backups because they hadn't checked their site or done anything on a consistent basis in a long time. That's where having a hosting company do the work for you buys you peace of mind. So what we do at Shield Bar Marketing is we offer these website care plans. What these do is keep the core files up to date, and they also keep all the plugins up to date so you don't get hacked. We make sure we have weekly backups of your files. So if something does get by the SSL and also gets by the security parameters that the hosting account has on it, we have a current rendition of your website that we can upload and get you back online within 24 to 48 hours. Another thing that we do is with the monthly maintenance fee, if people opt for it, we will also offer basic search engine optimization for you. With the basic search engine optimization, this keeps your search engine happy and will help drive local traffic to you. SEO is especially important for local service-based businesses. When people are doing searches on their phone, usually they are geo-targeted based on where they are currently in their location. If you have your website set up properly on the side that people don't see, you can capture a lot of those leads and be towards the top of the Google and Bing result. This results in more phone calls for your business. Now, if you are a global brand, it is going to be even more important to have search engine optimization done on all pages on your site, including any blog posts that you do. You are going to be fighting for the attention of the search engines across multiple countries. With that, we're going to take a quick sponsor break.
This episode is sponsored by Shield Bar Marketing, saving service-based businesses time, money, and frustration. More than just a designer, but a partner helping you develop a consistent online and offline strategy.
And we're back. I want to talk to you a little bit more about WordPress and why I chose to design in that software. Like I mentioned earlier, WordPress is used to design about 70% of the websites in the world. And the best part of it is that it is a site and software that can grow with you. When you're first starting out, you may only have a home page, a short about page, and a contact page. But as you grow, you're going to need to add more information to your site. Maybe you're going to have a blog where you embed your weekly YouTube videos, or you actually write content that you are engaging with your potential customers and clients with. Maybe you want to make sure you have an email newsletter sign up so you can collect email addresses and send relevant information out to those people who visited your site. You may have to embed a Facebook pixel, so if you decide you want to retarget and advertise to those people who visited your site through Facebook, you have that option. This is why I like WordPress. It grows with you. One of the areas that you may grow into is actually having a shopping cart added to your website. Yes, they're technically two different things. One side is a website and the other side is e-commerce or shopping cart. When people think of shopping carts or e-commerce, they may automatically think that, oh my gosh, I can't afford to have that on my website because it's going to cost a ton of money to have it programmed, and how will I ever manage it? But there are solutions out there that allow you to sell one item, or sell a digital download, or sell 1,000 items. And that's something that we like to help people with at Shield Bar too, is not only design a website that is forward-facing, attractive, and attracts clients to you, but we also offer reasonable, economical e-commerce solutions so you can sell that one item or that 1,000 items. Yes, we are a business, but we believe that the more people we help grow their business, the more successful we will all be. That is why we like to provide more value for your money. Yes, we know our competition charges a lot more than we do, but I can guarantee you that having 20 years of experience plus a stint at GoDaddy, that I know just as much, if not more, than the designer down the street. As a recap of what we went over today, make sure you own your own domain in your own account. Make sure you have a branded email that goes along with that domain. Have search engine optimization done on your site. You want to keep Google and Bing happy and make them come back to you at least on a monthly basis. And whether you host your own website or you have somebody else hosting it for you, make sure to have that SSL installed in order to provide security for the email addresses you collect and any credit cards that you do run. When you're ready to pay somebody to design your site, have them design it on a temporary domain, and don't pay them all up front. Only pay a % down until the website is live and to your liking, then you can pay the rest of it. I've had too many horror stories of people paying the full amount ahead of time and not having a website to show for it when it's all said and done. If you have any questions over any of these areas or would like to learn more about what Shield Bar Marketing can do for you when it comes to website design and hosting, feel free to jump on over to schedulenikole.com. Nikole is actually spelled Nikole. And you can have a complimentary 30-minute consultation with me. I hope these tips help you maintain control and peace of mind when it comes to your website. Be sure to join us for our next show of Time to Fly, where we're helping you give your business wings.
A big thank you to this episode's sponsor, Shield Bar Marketing. Be sure to visit shieldbar.com for all your marketing needs.
Join our fly. Stay informed of all things Time to Fly by subscribing to our newsletter at timetoflypodcast.com. And be sure to tune in to our next show.